All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to tear apart the whole idea of confidence. Forget everything you've probably heard about just believing in yourself. We're going to build a completely new, practical formula for getting the real, unshakable stuff. So let's jump right in with a question, because it really gets to the core of why so many of us get stuck. Just look at this. Do you need to feel confident before you can start something new or scary? I want you to really think about that for a sec, because your answer to this, well, it pretty much reveals everything about how you take on a challenge. You see, most of us have been taught the equation on the left, the myth. We think confidence is some kind of input. Like, you have to find this belief in yourself first, and only then are you allowed to take action. But what if I told you that's completely backward? The real truth, the game changer, is that confidence is an output. You take the action first, and it's the action itself that creates the belief. Okay, so let's dig into this first section, the confidence myth. And honestly, why just telling someone to believe in yourself can be some of the worst advice you could possibly give. I mean, this quote from our source just says it all, doesn't it? She tried the whole affirmation thing, writing on her mirror every day, I am beautiful, I am strong, I am capable, I am confident. And the result? Zip. Nada. Absolutely nothing changed. It's a perfect example of how you can't just wish your way to confidence. It's not built on positive thoughts, it's built on proof. So now let's actually see this idea in action with a really powerful story. This next part is all about proving that confidence isn't something you just have, it's something you have to earn. Okay, so picture this. The story starts when she's 21 years old. She decides to move clear across the country with no job, no real plan, and only $5,000 in her bank account. I mean, talk about a leap of faith. She was walking into complete uncertainty, and believe me, she had zero confidence she could actually pull it off. So she lands a job at a gym, but there's a catch. It's a sales job, which just so happens to be a field she was absolutely terrified of. And all the while, that $5,000 is just dwindling day by day, so the clock is ticking. The challenge was crystal clear. Figure this out in 3 months or pack up and go home. So what was her strategy? Was it more affirmations, more wishing? Nope. It was pure action. She just decided to put in the reps. She committed to reading 5 books on sales and worked these insane hours from 4 in the morning till 9 at night, just grinding to master this skill that scared her to death. And then came the breakthrough, the moment of truth. She was so nervous before her first big sales pitch that she said she literally thought she was going to throw up. But she didn't quit. She pushed right through that feeling, and she made the sale. And what happened right after is so important. Look at this quote. Every belief I had about myself was broken right then. It's fascinating, right? See, the confidence didn't show up before the sale. It was created by the sale. The action came first, and the belief, it followed. So if action is the key, how do you do it on purpose? How do you build on it again and again? Well, that brings us to section 3, how to build evidence. This is where we stop chasing fleeting feelings, that little dopamine hit, and start focusing on cold, hard data. The big idea here is what the source calls confidence from data. And it's pretty much what it sounds like. Real, lasting belief isn't built on just waking up and feeling good. It's built on a foundation of objective, tracked evidence of your progress. You're basically building a legal case for your own competence, a case so strong that your own brain can't argue with the facts. So why does this work so well? Well, for starters, it provides that objective evidence we're talking about, which just shuts down all those negative stories we tell ourselves. You know who our brains are, right? We've all got this negativity bias. You can have 5 good days and 2 bad ones, and you'll obsess over the 2 bad ones. Tracking your wins fights that. And maybe most important of all, it proves to you that you're the kind of person who keeps the promises you make to yourself. And that is huge. Okay, but what if the actions feel way too big to even start? How are you supposed to track wins when you feel completely paralyzed? That's what Section 4 is all about, the power of tiny tweaks. This is the fastest way to build that momentum you need. The secret is to reframe the entire question. Instead of asking, how do I tackle this huge, scary goal, you ask yourself this: what is one tiny tweak I can make today? The whole idea is to make the first step so small, so ridiculously easy, that it's almost impossible to fail. You're engineering an instant win to get that evidence-building process started. Here's a perfect real-world example, public speaking. You don't start by signing up for a TED Talk, right? No way. You start with step 1, speak for just 60 seconds on a team Zoom call. That's your tiny tweak. Once you do that, you've got evidence. Then you move to step 2, and so on. Each step builds on the last, creating this ladder of proof that can take you from being totally terrified to a rock star on stage. So, this brings us to the final hurdle, and it's probably the biggest one. What do you actually do with that raw fear, the kind that stops you from taking even that first tiny step? That's section 5, what to do with fear. You know, just like with confidence, we get the equation for fear completely backwards. The lie we tell ourselves is that motion follows emotion. We say, I'll do it when I feel ready. But the truth, again, is the exact opposite. Emotion follows motion. You will feel ready after you do it. The feeling of readiness is the reward for taking action, not the ticket you need to get in the door. And it's so critical to understand why this happens. Your brain's #1 job isn't to make you successful, it's to keep you alive. It's all about survival. So when you face something new and unknown, your brain sounds the alarm. It makes you feel scared to stop you from taking what it sees as a risk. So feeling fear isn't a sign that you're weak, it's a sign that your brain is working perfectly. So what's the new mental model? It's right here in this quote. Instead of trying to fight the fear or meditate it away or just wait for it to disappear, you just acknowledge it, and then you decide to bring it along for the ride. You just say, okay, fear, I feel you. You can come with me, but we're still doing the thing. So let's put it all together. The new formula for unshakable confidence is actually really simple. Number 1, confidence is an output of action. Number 2, build an evidence locker by tracking your wins. Number 3, break your huge goals down into tiny, achievable tweaks. And finally, number 4, take your fear with you. Don't wait for it to just disappear. And that brings us to one last question, just for you. Based on everything we've just talked about, what is one small, maybe a little scary thing you're going to do this week to start building your own evidence locker? That first entry is waiting.